Thailand. Good luck.
We'll see what Tanachai is going to do. Again, very, very steadily outside the decoration there. For the team riders, which Sengso is for Thailand, it's important today not only to be in a good spot, and she has 4 seconds added up there. But the teams are going to start the team championships with all of their individual riders' scores. So no team tomorrow will start on 0, that's guaranteed, because only one rider after today will be on 0, and that's the winner. The others will be classified according to their difference in time back to that winner. This is just getting a little bit hairy here in terms of control. Sengso actually does a good job of recovering to ride up that line. As we can see, it is overall going to be a very slow round. So coming up the final line, it is with 4 seconds to add. So 98.3 on the clock.
Just one day, 4 seconds, and again, so it's
102.3 will be the
finishing time,
competition time.
4 seconds added, and that, of course,
Sengso led to Tanachai.
Going to take them down into 4th place at this stage. Hong Kong, China low still sits at the top. Patrick Lam, he was the first to come, and he set a real tough standard there today of 80.22. So that's still a challenge to be beaten here as things continue and we return to Kuwait. Dalia Al-Zahan next with Rishabag Dujasfei. This is one that's been at the Asian Games in Jakarta, part of the team that finished just outside the medals and in 4th place.
Kuwait next
year.
Dalia Al-Zahan with Richebourg de Jusclay by l'Arc de Triomphe. So carrying the 4. Dalia Al-Zahan and Richebourg de Jusclay riding this line up from the tuk-tuks to the gongs. The tuk-tuks just standing either side of what will be the open water. It's actually movable water. It could appear anywhere else in the ring. It has to appear one day in the team championship as well.
Some cracking turns in there today. Great try. 82.58. Going to go top 3 at this stage. Dalia Al-Zahan into 3rd at this stage. Top 2 remain unchanged though. 80.22 leads. 81.44 sits in 2nd at this stage. But some real nice turns in there. And a very respectable 3rd place at this stage with 25 left to come forward. exterior and to take a check down to that final line, but really thinking forward all the way around some cracking turns. Right, let's go to another individual, and one has been jumping over in Europe. Top 10 finishes for this one.
Yunjing Elawang for China, Yunjing with Kudamia D,
and now here
the individual rider for China at these championships.
Kudamia D for China.
So Patrick Lam and Claron were our first in the ring. They're still our leaders on 80.2. But Yunjing Elawang here is making a start, actually going at a decent pace here, straight out of the box. So Yunjing Elawang and Kudamia coming around towards home. This could be the first to take over the lead from Patrick Lam. 80.2, our best score, 80.22. This is 77.9.
77.88.
77.88 is the official time for Yunjing Elawang, and that goes into the lead at the moment.
Into the lead, Kudamia D setting a brand new standard. Jae-Hong Park then. He represents Korea, he rides Gabriel B, and this is a new horse in his journey. You've seen him on a few nice ones over the years actually, and looking back over his career in multi-disciplines as well. Gabriel B, Jae-Hong Park, Korea.
So on we go to Korea's Jae-Hong Park. Team silver medalist at the Asian Games in Doha back in 2006. Jae-Hong with Gabriel B by the VDL sire Rocco Blue. Again, not necessarily challenging to be the fastest today, but looking to come in and get a good round of jumping onto their belts for the start of the week. And of course thinking also about wanting to get the team for the Republic of Korea off to a strong start as well. They don't want to be too far off the pace, because that will translate into penalties that they must carry as a team into the team championship. Really hunts the distance up into the gongs, has both of those for 4 seconds to add. So Jae-Hong Park, Gabriel coming around towards the final line.
takes
So
you down today, and that
1:03.00
means the time is going to be
on the clock,
103
and 8
seconds.
to add for Jae Hong Park.
103 seconds is the total for Jae Hong Park and Gabrielle B. Ella Lang still sitting up in top, 77.88. That's the challenge. Patrick Lamb, long-time leader, sitting in second on 80.22. So that's the top two at this stage.
So 111.0 is the score for Jae Hong Park and Gabrielle, 111 seconds. So ranking 7th so far.
Hong Kong, China.
Back to Hong Kong for our next to go, Raina Leung. Raina Leung, who's been a World Cup finalist, also ridden to the World Games and 2018 Asian Games. And the Asian Games were with this horse, Orphée de Granit. Raina, no stranger to big jumps, has twice won international puissance competitions, high jumping wall competitions in Europe. And Raina, very close to the left-hand side of that. I thought she was maybe going to go inside on her way to the elephants. So through the Dragon double, turning back to the Oriental fans at 7. Again, another rider to just become a little bit unseated before this vital line up the length of the arena, jumping also towards the big screen. A lot of these horses in Europe will be very experienced with big screens, but there will be some for whom this championship atmosphere is just a little bit beyond what they're used to, and they'll see that big screen, and that's something the riders will really have to consider and take into account. 77.88 for Yunjing Elawang for China, out in front at the moment. Raina, as close as she can possibly be to that decoration coming up to the final line, is not going to go into the lead at the moment, but is not going to be far away.
Yes,
and this is a team rider as well, Raina Leung and Orphée de Granit. It is a time of 82.04 with nothing to add, and alongside the very good time for Patrick Lamb. That is a good start from the first two riders for Hong Kong. 4th best for Raina Leung and Orphée de Granit in terms of the individual ranking.
2019. Colin Sequoia stepping forward with Chanel 1. New right for Colin, but we saw Colin involved in five with a different horse playing the Olympic qualifier there. Best of luck here. Colin Sequoia, Chanel 1 for the Philippines.
Colin Sequoia and Chanel 1 are our next to go for the Philippines. No real problem for that, just obviously some disobedience from the horse, but they are going to run out of time potentially on their countdown. He's rushing through the start. He might have just been a shade over, and of course, when the time is the determining factor here, that is very unfortunate for Colin, starting his week of championship here. So Colin moving along, actually doesn't have a lot of experience with this horse. Chanel 1 rode another horse in the Olympic qualifier at Valkenswaard this year. Actually had a bit of time away from the sport as well. We saw him at the Tryon venue in North Carolina and also at the Split Rock venue in America a couple of years ago. Southeast Asian Games rider in 2017. Coming on towards home, as we said, it's been pacey all the way, not going to quite take on Yunjing Elawang. How close can they get? 85.71 for Colin Sakia, and with 4 to add, it's 89.71.
And Channel 1, 85.71. That's the time that's going to take him down into 6th place. Interestingly enough, though, if he'd left that final fence up, he'd be in 4th. So it's moved him down 2 places by having that last rail here today. A real heartbreaker for him, just taking down the last. Uzbekistan once again, and a man who's been jumping over in Europe up until quite recently. He's been in Valencia with this horse, actually. He had a nice win there.
Turganboyev and Kaleko is our next to go for Uzbekistan.
Turganboyev, Turganboyev and Kaleko for Uzbekistan.
So on course, the second for Uzbekistan. We've already seen Chikabu with Umid Kamilov sitting 3rd at the moment, 81.44 total time. And here we see Saidam Erkan going inside as well, as his teammate did earlier on. Just not on a super approach into that double. They get out of trouble though coming through it. Jumped this horse in the regional Olympic qualifier that was held for the region in which Uzbekistan finds itself at Moscow this year. Israel actually took the win and the Olympic place out of that. So carrying 4 to add at the moment just through the Dragon Face double. Saidam Erkan, Turganboyev. It's another one to add in the columns, the decorative columns. It's a total of 12 to add for Saidam Erkan and 92.66 the clock time, so that will translate up to a time of 104.66.
So I'm going to skip another 3-4 horses and we're going to take a short break into the remainder of the field. Quick reminder though, this is a really important first part of the test for our show jumping riders. There's a lot more to come as we look towards the medal positions both individually and for our teams as well. Now we go to a partnership who's been following the World Cup League here in Asia. Alyssa Welsler, Stepeto Kusar for Thailand.
So now the second to go for Thailand. Thailand's Alyssa Welsler with Stepeto Kusar. Well, a refusal at the first. The clock keeps ticking as well. So this is a tricky start to the round and the week for Alyssa Welsler. Michael Welsler, Stepeto Kusar. And that unfortunately is elimination. 2 disobediences at the first for Alyssa here.
At the first as well, that's got to be frustrating. She's a great athlete, it's great to have her with us. It's just not her day. Alyssa Welsler, Stepeto Kusar for Thailand.
So Alyssa Welsler eliminated at the moment from the day one competition. Of course, those who don't complete will get the 20 penalties for 20 more penalties than the lowest ranked rider who does complete today's competition. So they'll still have a score going forward to represent Thailand in the team competition. And if they're good enough and ranked highly enough to be back for the individual on Sunday. Q8 now. Yara Al-Hunaidi, Yara with Karavari. Yara Al-Hanedi on course with Karavari. Kuwait here with the team for the championships. Already seen Dalia Al-Zaham. Dalia with a good time actually earlier on. Just a hard rub going through that second double on the course. They're just struggling a little bit with that turn back from the Oriental fans up to the tuk-tuk's water, and then you see by the end of that line they're lacking that little bit of energy. They have to make a big effort to come out over the gongs. If they could stay more balanced in the turn on the approach to the tuk-tuk water, they'd have the energy to make the better jump out over the gongs. Slightly academic, of course, at the moment because Yara Al-Hanedi is still clear. Rattles the last double and it comes home on 82, 81, 93.
Is the time there.
And nothing to add. 81.93 is going to put our Q80 rider into fourth position.
And into fourth. So top three unchanged at the moment then. Ella still leads 77.88. Patrick Lamb just behind her on 80.22. Two combinations left then before we take that very short break here.
Well, an individual rider for Brunei, Saeed Adnan Al-Awawi with Balu Yu. Balu Yu, unsurprisingly, by Balubeda Rue. So this is the Brunei rider. 14th to go. Saeed Adnan Al-Alawi rode the 5-star competition at Windsor this year. This horse was originally produced over in North America, has jumped to 5-star Grand Prix level, meter 60 at Spruce Meadows in Canada. And Saeed rode this horse at last year's Asian Games in Jakarta in Indonesia. Absolutely scoped to burn this horse. It's sometimes just unbalancing Saeed Adnan. Settling a little bit now as they come to this quite intense section of the course out of the Chinese Dragon Face doubles over the Oriental fans. One of the most positive lines up there. As they settle, they're able to bring in their level of experience. Saeed Adnan Al-Alawi again angles across the BMW. He's going to be nippy enough, but can he be faster than Yunjing Elawang and 77.88? Oh, the 6 strides. He just let them run too long. He was right into it. He has 8 to add, both from the decorative columns of the double at 13 A and B. Saeed Adnan on 87.50 on the clock, plus 8 to add, so that is going to be 95.50.
It's going to be that sort of final time, but if you left that up, both those fences, if you left it in the cups, you would be sitting in seconds. That was a really expensive double for him. So 87.50 and moves him from second all the way down and into 8th place at this stage. Still very much that time to be beaten here as we get towards the halfway stage. Hamoud JBP is the name of this next stallion.
Well,
as Lord said, it's 10 years old,
JBP
and it's Jae-kyung Lee.
And Jae-kyung Lee. Jae-kyung Lee for Korea. Korea with a gold medal already at these championships, taking the individual gold in dressage already. So 77.88 leads for Yunjing Elawang, Patrick Lam for Hong Kong in second. This is not necessarily a round of jumping that's going to be chasing Yunjing Elawang, but Yunjing also has the different status today, being an individual rider, riding just for individual honours and progression onto Sunday's medal-winning opportunity in the individual final. Whereas these team riders, like Jae Kyung Lee, with us in the ring at the moment for Korea, they need to be just very careful that they post a score, because they want to try and be, yes, they want to be close, they want to be on not too many penalties going into day two, the start of the team. But the important thing also is to come in, get their horses a good experience here on day one and prepare them for the week going on. And they want all four riders to get home and hose today so that they've got something to build on for the rest of the week. See here again, going out super wide, down deep into the ring before this final line. And it's wise, the final line has been tricky for a lot of riders. Unfortunately, both parts
the six, sorry, once again, clear all the way around towards the final double. 91.74 is the time.
91.74 on the clock, 8 to add, it's 99.74. And 10th position.
And that's going to put her down into 10th place individually at this stage, into 10th place. So we're going to take a very short break here. At the moment, though, Elawang still leads 77.88. That will be the time to beat for our remaining athletes when they return.
So that brings us up to the halfway point of jumping with Jae Kyung Lee and Pomo JBP going into 10th place. Yunjing Elawang is our leader on 77.88 so far, and we'll see exactly how fast they're going to be able to get. We've got the third and fourth team riders for each nation still to come. But as we go into this few minutes break while we set the surface back up to 110%, we're going to catch up with Bobby Haler.
So I'm here with Elawang, who has jumped herself into the lead so far. Well, Ella, that was an incredible, that was so fast. Congratulations. When I look at these jumps, they look beautifully designed and fantastic. Was there a jump out there that you were a bit worried about?
Yeah, sure. All the jumps look fantastic, but like the golden elephants out there and the water jump a little bit, so we have to come between. Then my horse was looking a little bit, but everything worked out.
You mentioned earlier that she is a new ride and you've not had a lot of time together. Did that mean that your preparation for today would have been different than if you had a sort of a more firm partnership together?
Yeah, sure, because I just got her new for about 4 weeks, and there was 1 week she was traveling, so she's pretty new to me, but I think she's a very quality horse, and she's very smart, she's very cute, so I didn't do much to get her ready to come here. I just take everything easy, just still get to know her in the process, But for sure, if I have a different horse here, then I would probably train a little bit more. I know the course designer, so maybe I would see, the shows that I've been on that he was designing, and then try to figure out, his tactics, and then for sure it will be a little bit different.
And that really goes down to planning at a competition like this. And I know it's a big journey actually to be able to get out there today. So what is your aim for the future with your new ride?
We'll see. I have a lot of expectation for her. Like this time is the first championship I've ever done, and I get actually quite nervous, but she can handle it quite well. So I think we're a good combination together. So I'm looking forward to the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now back to John in the commentary box.
So at this halfway point, we're looking at Yunjing Elawang, who we've just heard from there, as our leader for China on 77.88. 80.22 is the score. The time for Patrick Lam. Umid Kamilov for Uzbekistan is in third. Yara Al-Hanadi is our fourth best at the moment, Raina Leong. And then you can see, unfortunately, 2 eliminations on day one for the Thai and the Iranian rider. down the order there. So it is that 111 time for Park that is our lowest ranked rider so far here at Pattaya for these FEI Asian Championships in the sport of show jumping. So, welcome back to Pattaya. We've just had a recap there of the first half of jumping here in the first individual round. It's a qualifier into the team as well. It will set the standards for the teams because they will bring the penalties forward today that they accrue as individuals into their team performance. And we have 6 teams vying for the championship medals here this week. And they will be decided after 2 rounds of team jumping tomorrow and Friday. So we've seen 15 of the 31, so 16 competitors still to come as we go. Couple more individuals, but the 3rd and 4th rider rotation still to come for our nations fielding teams, which is Hong Kong, Uzbekistan, Thailand, Kuwait, Korea. And there, as we come down from the drone shot here, the view of the warm-up as they get ready for this competition. Yunjing Elawang is our leader at the moment, 77.88 in this faults-converted format. So every pole down is 4 seconds added for the riders out there, but our top 6 places currently being held by those on nothing added. 77.88 leads. Patrick Lamb, who was first in the ring, is second on 80.2. Umid Kamilov, 81.44 with Chickabu for third so far.
Health and well-being. Choose Maxwin. For further information or advice from our horse experts, please contact Perfect Companion Pet Care.
So looking forward to the rest of today. Don't forget, we also have at 3 o'clock the conclusion of the Dressage Championships here at Pattaya with the freestyle. That's our next competition coming up. Tomorrow, day 1 of team jumping and the conclusion of the eventing with their jumping finale. On Friday, it's the conclusion of team jumping, and then on Sunday, the 2 rounds of competition that will decide the individual jumping medals here at Pattaya for 2019. Well, as we did with the first section, we're going to start the second section of jumping with a rider for the team for Hong Kong. Jacqueline with Confidence 9 waiting to be called forward into the ring. It's Kornad Obolensky horse. We've seen, of course, amazing successes by Kornad Obolensky horses all around the world over the last few years.
Still sitting up on top at the moment, but a lot of talent still to chase here.
So a rider who's represented her country at the Youth Olympic Games, that was in Singapore in 2010, and
who's been representing our country for a number of years. We've seen her at the Asian Games, we've seen her at the World Equestrian Games, we've seen her at the Youth Olympics. She really is a great contender here today. Jacqueline Lai comes next.
So Jacqueline Lai and Confidence, World Games rider last year as well. Jackie's been a team bronze medalist at the 2010 Asian Games, riding this horse since the spring of 2018.
Bell has gone.
So Jacqueline Lai and Confidence coming forward to start their round. Patrick Lamb, her teammate, lies second at the moment on 80.22. And this is a pacey start actually from the third rider for Hong Kong. But turns into a very early error, the first to have that number 2 down for 4 seconds to add. Did very well there, just curled up over the jump, having got in right to the roots of it. Just being a little bit more confident in their jumping now through that double, as they need to be. Shortcuts on the turn, gets them close in, they take the front rail with them. A little bit of a stuffy jump out over the water as well. They come out over the gongs, but they're carrying 8 to add so far. Oh, takes the inside line back to the pagodas. And as close as she dares to this decoration, up to the final line, triple bar. And 6 strides to the decorated pillars. So it's 8 to add
Some
and a
nice
good time,
times in there today, but it's
83.79,
a false
and 8 to add is going to be
83.79 there for Jacqueline Lai. Confidence 9,
for Jacqueline Lai,
83.79,
and
going to be that
Confidence.
total time at this stage. Takes her into 7th place.
91.79 will go
at
into
the moment,
7th position.
7th.
So this was her first problem, starting off really meaningfully and getting there just too quick, rushing that second fence. Again, this was a little bit of rushing. It was short-circuiting the turn. We've had a lot of people have, nearly get themselves some problems riding that turn after the Oriental fans going up to the tuk-tuk water. And Jacqueline, I think, was trying to prepare for that a little bit too much and rode quick and short and positive to the fence before. So for the Philippines, Joker Ario and Ubama Alia. So Joker for the Filipino team. Coming up from these elephants. It's a very, very shallow dogleg here, but it is a bending line, so they have to be right up to this double. And then, you know, preparation, your approach to the double will allow you to shape this rollback turn to the vertical. Clear the dragons. A while since we've had a clear. 5 competitors so far have actually had 2 down. That's amongst the most positive scores, or the most frequent scores. We've seen 6 without penalties to add. And Joker just landed short over that water, wasn't on a good spot all the way down, and didn't really do the necessary to correct it. So take that gong fence out. So carrying 4. And we've seen riders really knife across that BMW. Joker at this point knowing not necessarily going to be as competitive, so wants to be sure of the jumps, doesn't want to pick up any more penalties to add. Well, 83.7 on the clock, 4 to add, 87.7 for Joker Ario and Ubama Alia.
83.70 the time that takes them down into 7th position.
So that's another one going into 7th position. Without the penalties, it in fact would have been 7th as well, so no great change there for Joker. But our clears, the slowest clear, Dalia Al-Zaham in 82.58. In 6th position, Rayana Leon. In 5th for Hong Kong, Yara Al-Hanedi. For Kuwait in 4th, Umid Kamilov, Uzbekistan 3rd. Patrick Lam 2nd in 80.22. And Yongjing Elawang, 77.88 for the lead so far. We go back to Uzbekistan for their 3rd team rider. This is Go For It B, written by Gerrit Nazarov. So Gerrit Nazarov, Umid Kamilov, teammate 81.44, currently in 3rd on the standings. Remember, the winner today will go on into the next round of competition on 0. Again, just a little bit scruffy, a little bit out of sync with each other through that first double. We've seen a few rounds just like that early on. They've improved and coalesced as they've gone on. The landing and turn back to the water here will be pretty critical. Again, you just see a rider having to really sit up. They're conscious now that they really want to balance on that turn coming up here. Just lets the horse go quite long. Up to the gong, still clear at the moment, but this is steady. So just one down towards the end of the course there for Gerrit Nazarov.
4 seconds added into that time. So the time becomes 84.52.
So actually 84.52 will be the time for Gerrit Nazarov. They haven't just, they've got it now, 84.52. confirmed for Gerrit Nazarov and Go For It B.
Thirteen combinations left to come forwards here in this one. 77.88 still the time to be beaten. Brian Bratakolen next then for Indonesia. Aragon Savoy. Nice 9-year-old this one. Got a lot of Aragon horses on the circuit. Aragon, Akira, all been jumping over in Kronenberg. Best of luck here. They are next to go.
So next to go, Brian Bratakolen, the Indonesian rider who's an individual at these championships with Aragon Savoy. So just carrying the force so far. Gets a good spot up at the water now. Just wants to roll back, get the horse back on the hocks, gets a nice jump out over that big square oxer at the end of the line. Here's the pagodas coming. Going to take a bit of an angle here at the BMW. Here's the triple bar. 6 strides, just, you can hear going to the voice, whoa, 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 coming into the final pair.
Comes down,
it's
so 8 seconds
to
added in, and the time becomes 91.23. Brian Bratakolen, Aragon Savoy, 91.23, with 8 seconds added into that time.
So 8 to add, so it's 91.23 total, and 12th position for Brian Bratakolen and Aragon Savoy.
As he jumps in towards the double, takes the check, just catches that back rail of the oxer and replay on the video board there, and then tries to straighten up down towards his final double, and has to twist through the air there.
Corrado d'Enfer and Lalina Veltzer for Thailand. Unfortunately, no Thai riders inside the top 10 as things currently stand here in Pattaya.
With Corrado.
So the Lalina Veltzer still on the clear at the moment over the Oriental fans. Just drifts a little bit to the right over that big oxer. This is going to be a disobedience and refusal. So that clock keeps ticking for Lalina Veltzer. So the BMW goes for the first time, so unfortunately that is going to be 4 seconds to add, and of course the time wasted because of the disobedience coming to the water. So this is going to end up being a big old time for Lilina Velsa and Corrado Donfer. The last as well. So it's 8 seconds added, and a time therefore of 1:12.38.
The time there for Lina Welsler. Corrado Donfer represents the home nation in Thailand and just 18 years of age. Put in a great performance today. The finish is on 112.38. About 10 or 11 combinations left to come forwards here in this one-round competition.
This is really unfortunate because actually she'd been riding very well, and I think she'd made pretty good preparation for the water. But this, again, the horse just wasn't really reacting, wasn't following her, and then it was inevitable that she was going to have that rail. This was a little bit unlucky, though, coming on towards home. Kuwaiti rider Abdullah Al Rodan. Abdullah with La Luna. So still, we haven't had any real challenges to Yunjing Ella Wang. Ella with Kidamia, 77.88 to lead the class. Dragon double. Just gets a little bit caught up in the decoration there in the corner. Good recovery. Again, you just see that they're really having to lean into that turn coming back up to the water here, and this line to the gongs. Oh, that he was trying to knife across that, and he got inside the decoration. I think he's the first to do that. The horse just drifted and set itself back up straight to the fence, which actually created the room for him to go inside. He does have the last stand, 79.30. He would have been faster on the clock, but with the 4 to add, Abdullah Rudan goes into second place on a total time of 79.30.
What a heartbreak, that final fence coming down today. But it's still a cracking time, 79.30, and it will go into second place. Next man who rides here is an individual. He represents Japan and has done it so many Olympic Games, World Equestrian Games, World Cup finals.
So just gone into second place there, Abdullah Al Rodan. We see the horse just getting caught up in that decoration. I don't think he was going to go and try inside to the fans, but he did get inside it on the way home, turning back to the Dolphin triple bar, and that gave him a faster clock time than Ella Wang. But unfortunately it wasn't to be, as he has the last down, and that keeps him in second place with the 4 penalty seconds. Six-time Japanese Olympian Taizo Sugatani. Taizo with Erwin de Meuse by Tinker's Boy. Winner of the Nations Cup Grand Prix a couple of seasons ago at Linz. This was Taizo's horse for last summer's Asian Games. And this horse has been jumping to meter 60 at the very top level, 5-star in Europe. The majority of our jumping athletes in particular have come across from Europe, a lot of the eventing athletes as well. And it is because the Thai Equestrian Federation and the organising committee here made available $1 million horse flight from Europe, so that athletes could come and represent themselves and their nations here on home soil. So often before, Asian Championships and Asia Pacific Championships have been held in Europe, because that is where the athletes are to compete against the very best. But it's a wonderful opportunity for them to come here and ride in front of a Southeast Asian crowd just outside Bangkok here in Pattaya. Taizo is here as an individual for Japan, but he is here with his eyes on the final prize of the week, the individual gold on Sunday afternoon. Taizo and Erwin de Meuse, they're not even the most economic turns, but just very forward, very positive everywhere, and really clean jumping. Look at this, 77.3. 77.28, and it is just in front. It is 0.6 exactly in front of Ella Wang. So Taizo Sugitani is our leader with 77.28.
Asian Championships Pattaya 2019, brand new leader, Japan goes to the top. Taizo Sugitani, Helen Denise, pushes Ella Wang down into second, their long-time leader, and there is now about 0.6 of a second in it.
Kyunjin Lee for Korea and Caruso 587. Kyunjin been riding this horse since January of this year. Actually took an international class win in the Netherlands earlier on this summer. Again, just knuckles over a little bit on landing as well. But making that really tough inside turn, you lose a lot of rhythm and momentum, and that's the trade-off. Yes, you're going a shorter distance, but are you actually able to consistently travel forward at a rate? We'll see exactly how it ends up for Kyunjin. Clear that second double. We're getting a lot of rubs through that double just as it comes on the line, and it's a long and solid dogleg. They really have to make a big correction coming down that line to the double of Dragon Faces. There's a combination jumping well, looking again for the inside turn here, inside the vertical, and again they get hung up a little bit on the turn. This horse is very, very quick to react though, because there's a lot of horses would have got hung up going past the Buddha on the side of that vertical and wondered what's next, whereas this horse, once it was pulled away, it locked onto the next jump very, very quickly. 77.28 to beat. Are we about to see a change straight away? The last goes 78.40 and 4 to add, 82.40 for Kyunjin Lee.
Otherwise that would have gone into a very good position, but it's going to put him down into 8th place.
So good enough for 8th place, but it could have been a lot closer to the top of the tree. 78.40 clock time would have gone into 3rd spot. As things stand, it was this last rail that cost them. So now for Hong Kong, Kenneth Cheng. Kenneth with Tyson AZ. Another Olympian with us, represented his country in 2008. Team bronze medalist at the 2010 Asian Games, one of 3 Asian Games appearances for Kenneth. Riding this horse, Tyson AZ, since the spring of this year. Won the Grand Prix at Bonheiden in Europe and also contested the Olympic Games qualifier for this region at Valkenswaard. And that goes back to what I was saying, the Olympic qualifier for this region of our sport was held in Valkenswaard. Some of the other nations here, their Olympic qualifier was in Moscow, which is actually on home soil if you take the Uzbeks, but the Uzbeks sit in this region as well in terms of being eligible for Asian Games and Asian Championships. Just rides nice and steadily up there, but actually by riding steadily it makes this turn very, very easy. It comes up much easier if you're not pushing on speed down to the gongs. Over the BMW, going to be outside but incredibly close into that, and that seems to be the Hong Kong team orders. 6 strides up to the last. It's going to be a decent time. It's clear as well. That's very handy. 78.62. Kenneth Cheng goes into 3rd place, and teammate Patrick Lamb close behind in 5th.
Taizo Sugatani leads though, 77-28, that remains the challenge. Ella Wang second, and now Kenneth Chang in third. 7 combinations left to come forward.
So a very, very good round of jumping. The Hong Kong riders, they have pace across the ground. They ride in such a forward flowing fashion. It doesn't look like it's rushed, and they're really making it count today with 2 inside the top 5 at the moment and only a handful left to start here today to lay down their day 1 time. Taizo Sugatani, our current leader for Japan with Heroin Demuse on 77.28. He is the reference time, and if he remains the leader, he will go on to day 2 on 0. As it stands at the moment, you've got Yunjing Ella Wang just behind, 0.6 of a second behind. She would therefore start day 2 on a penalty score of 0.3. Half the difference between her and Taizo Sugatani made into a penalty. On course, Adel Keshvars. Adel for Iran with classic 47. This is a combination we see at this level, the meter 40 level, a lot in Europe. Very successful in the Tehran show series as well, to World Cup level.
When you go in, show her the water and stay in the left. That's how you can start. And then stay in left side.
Again, you just sort of see the differences coming out. Taizo Sugatani, 77 seconds, done and dusted. Adel is going to be at 77 seconds before he's even turned and finished his turn to this final line. Triple bar. And 6 strides here to the decorated pillars. He just lets the horse dangle a little bit. He should have kept him up into the hand and in front of the leg. So Keshvaras is going to have the 4 to add there close to home, which will turn it into a 92.31 time.
Not many left to come now. 6 partnerships left. Quick reminder, if you're in United's championship scoring, this all feeds into what is going to be the decider for the medals as the weekend continues, both as the individuals.
So here it was, just coming towards home. It was never going to be one of our fastest times, but so unfortunate to just have the last down as well for 4 extra seconds, putting them on 92.31.
And the Asian Games as well. She rides Lorelei. She represents the Philippines.
Marie-Antoinette Leviste. Marie-Antoinette with Loribri. The next of our Filipino riders, Joko Ario, just outside the top 10 with 83.70 on the scoreboard so far for the Philippine team. This is good. They're outside the decoration, but I think actually rhythmically that's a good place to be. But she was nicely just a little bit left of center over number 2. It's a little bit right of center here, so you can see all the time. And it's inches, but they all add up. It's incremental gains against the clock. Just very nicely really activated the canter, ready for the jump in the last 3 strides once they finished their turn on the dog leg. Another horse just loses the hind end a touch, coming away from the fans towards the open water. They haven't seen that for a while, but then again, maybe Marie-Antoinette Leviste is just moving at that little bit more of a pace. 77.28 is the time to beat. She's got 20 seconds or so to get home from here, but unfortunately that Pagoda profile wings, it goes for 4 seconds to add. So just that one done, and it's going to be 18.66 seconds for Marie-Antoinette Leviste, including 4 penalty seconds. So that's good enough to go into 6th place. We've got our fastest one carrying penalties is Abdullah Rudan in 4th at the moment. Marie-Antoinette Leviste close in touch there in 6th, and just over 3 seconds behind Taizo Sugatani. So we'll start day 2 if things were to stay as they were on just 1.5, 1.6 penalties, that kind of country. We can't work out those penalties until we know who our winner is, and we're able to look at those differences.
And
now the final Uzbek rider with the just 9-year-old Roxibaya. It is Azam Tobiev. Azam clear through the first of the 3 doubles on course with Roxy Baya. Tolibev coming towards home, still with nothing to add. 77.77 is the time for Azam Tolibev.
He goes into 2nd place.
So into 2nd place for Azam. That is just over half a second behind Taizo Sugatani. So, you know, 0.25 of a penalty going into day 2 for Azam, and it's a great start for the Uzbek team as well. Taizo Sugatani is here as an individual, but if Azam was able to stay there or thereabouts, he would be one of the leading team riders in the championships.
Representing Thailand, Untitled.
Yarapon Limpachati for Thailand with irregular choice by Douglas. So it hasn't quite been a great first day for Thailand. What can Limpachati do here towards the end of the draw? Ooh. So that is unfortunately going to be elimination for the final Thai rider, Yarapon Limpachati.
We're just going to give that rider a quick check over. We'll give the medical team, as always, standing by around the ring. So we'll get them in. We'll get her checked
The horse obviously straight up Yarapon. I think maybe just a little bit winded there. Assistance from the championship team. See our medics coming on site.
And Ella currently in 3rd place at this stage. So that's our top 3 at the moment. You can see our medical team coming into the arena now. They're going to have a
So just 3 left to go.
riding, as we know, is a risk sport. It happens to every single
And
one
it
of
is
us.
elimination, unfortunately, for Yarapon Limpachati on day one. Remember, the riders who are eliminated, they will still get a score, because the lowest ranked rider will get a score, and then the eliminated riders get 20 penalties more than that.
We've already seen dressage, which in fact we're going to see a little bit later on today for another time. We're going to see the freestyle to dressage today at 3 p.m. So the freestyle is where the dressage athletes will be coming forward. They're going to be riding a
So with just 3 left to go, and we'll be back in the action in a moment, Taizo Sugatani and Herwin de Moos are our leaders, 77.28. You can see there our fastest, including fourths, is Al Rudan of Kuwait there in 5th. But just a moment, Azam Tolibev of Uzbekistan, my apologies, went into 2nd place, a very close 2nd place on 77. Here we can see that we've got riders like Turgenboev with Kaleko for Uzbekistan, including 12 seconds on 92.66. So it was a very fast round from Turgenboev. Park for Korea, it was 8 on totting up to a time of 103. So those times you see there are including the faults to the left. So table C with faults converted, and then we have 3 riders now that would be looking at having 20 penalties more than Veltzer for Thailand. So they would be on 37.5 if things stayed where they are at the moment. Our last ranked rider there for Thailand is going to be on about 17.5 penalties based on the difference between her time and the leading time of Taizo Sugatani. So 20 penalties more then for those who are eliminated.
She is getting back up on her feet now, and I'm sure the medical team will spend a little bit more time with her backstage. But once again, let's give her a big round of applause as she heads out today. Great to have her with us. 1-3 combinations left. We know Taizo Sugatani still leads at this stage, 77-28. That is certainly going to take some beating.
So just 3 left who will take on the challenge of 77-28.
77-88 her time, and then sitting in 2nd, Azamtolabev on 77.
Just having had the horse on her legs, there was obviously a little bit of concern, so they've taken off Europon's boots. I remember somebody once saying, you know, what do riders have on their medic alert braces? And back in the days when we used to wear full leather boots that were beautifully handcrafted as well, it was like, my boots have zips, don't cut them off.
Eventing certainly well underway. We saw them on the cross-country courses 7 a.m. this morning, and they're going to be back here for their...
And this is our next rider as we go to Kuwait for their final team rider to show on day 1.
Ali Al-Karafi and EYWK comes next for Kuwait.
Ali Al-Karafi and Ewout K. So Ali Al-Karafi and Ewout K. Ewout by Wolfgang, owned by the Kuwait Riding Centre. So 77-28. How have we already seen our day 1 leader of the championships, Taizo Sugatani, or can he be challenged by any of the riders left to go? Especially as the last rider on the draw, Yulong Shen, is for Chinese Taipei and is here as an individual. So just like Ella Wang of China, just like Taizo Sugatani, has no other pressures today. It's simply about going in and trying to get in the best possible position to carry through right the way till Sunday. Remember, the faults that we give today, when we work out the results of this class and give championship faults, they are carried through right the way on. That's good. That was, they landed really short over the water, then they rode 7 strides up to the gongs, and they made it fit as well, because good reaction there from Ali Al-Kharafi. Looking inside, 77.28. He needs to come home clear, but this is a very, very good time. Ali Al-Kharafi rubs the last, but 73.3. That moves the paradigm on. He is 4 seconds faster than Taisa Sugatani, which immediately is going to put Taisa on 2/4 minimum. So Ali Al-Kharafi, after that short break, blitzes into the lead here in Pattaya in these Asian Championships on day 1. And that is a tremendous result also for Kuwait. Kuwait jumping very, very well today. We've got 3 inside the top 10 of their 4 riders for Kuwait. Yara Al-Hunaidi in 10th. We've got Abdullah Al-Rawdan in 6th. And Ali Al-Kharafi is now our leader.
2 left then. Boston Kim will be standing by, about to go, with Upsilon B representing Korea, and our penultimate partnership here on day 1 for the jumpers at the FEI Asian Championships, Pattaya.
Well, a fantastic round of jumping. It is definitely going to take some beating as we turn our attention now to Bo-seong Kim for Korea with Upsilon B. And not the first to have had a disobedience here at number 1. So Bo-seong Kim, no penalties, but I mean, because it's false converted, the clock continues ticking. That is the penalty. You know, in a competition where time is the deciding factor, 24 seconds and you've only cleared the first fence. So there's some seconds added, just coming down here towards the jury box and the Oriental fans. Again, just scooting a little bit around the corner, is going to lose the back end. Same here on the approach up to the water. The horse just throwing the head as well. He needs to get that head down because he's broken his martingale. So he's going to struggle to get this horse's head down, and attention on the top rail of these jumps. Goes out wide here. He was just, he was literally holding the horse in his hands and then just releasing at the last moment over that BMW jump. It's just being, going to have a little bit more confidence in the line here, but again, he wanted to hold for the last stride or 2. He couldn't get that level of control, so it comes away. It's 8 to add for a total time of 111.82.
On the control that he had and the conversation that he was having with Upsilon B today. He's going to finish on 111.82. 1 combination left to go. Ali Al-Kharafi still leads, 73.25. Taisa Sugatani in 2nd, Azam Tulabav in 3rd. That's our top 3 at this stage.
So such a tough time after they'd had those problems and ended up breaking some of their tack with the martingale. So Bo-seong Kim and Upsilon B will find themselves well down the order. They're some 37 seconds slower than Ali Al-Kharafi, so that would translate to 18.5 championship penalties. Yulong Chen and Evira's Uno is our 31st and last ride of day 1 of these jumping championships. Yulong with the 10-year-old numero uno mare. Chinese Taipei with a dressage medal already this week in the team competition, but just this one individual rider here for Chinese Taipei in the jumping. As I say, that potentially gives us a challenger. When we look at our individual riders, we've got Ella Wang of China still in 4th. We've got Taisa Sugatani of Japan in 2nd at the moment. It is actually a team rider, Ali Al-Kharafi, who leads for Q8 in 73.25. And this, I don't think, is going to challenge 73.25, but would look to just be comfortably there amongst the top group. It's amazing. Taizo, though, leader for such a long time on 77.28 with a very, very experienced horse in Heroine de Muse. Suddenly blitzed by Ali Al-Kharafi, and Taizo is going to start day 2 of the championships on just over 2 penalties. That's how much faster Ali was, more than 4 seconds faster. Yeah, so we know our leader, Ali Al-Kharafi, so we can start to do those rough mathematics. We'll get, of course, overnight the championship scores for these riders, but we're basing it off Ali Al-Kharafi's leading time of 73.25, as Yulong Chen and Eviros Uno are just going to try and bring it home for the clear on day 1, and it's not to be. And that's a little bit, that triple bar, they usually jump beautifully, and but they do propel you out into the distance. And what Yulong wanted to do was to try and back off the triple bar, so they landed solidly in the distance. And unfortunately, they ended up having the back bar out of the decorated pillars as well. So it's 8 seconds, 94, 41, and 24th position.
For our show jumping riders here at the FEI Asian Championships Pattaya 2019, presented by Grimm. Ali Al-Kharafi sitting up at the top as we move forward with our individual standings and our team standings. 73.25 was his time today.
I mean, for instance, we can tell already, because we're able to do the sum now, that Yulong Chen is going to start day 2 on 10.58 penalties. So more than 2 poles behind Ali Al-Kharafi, who will go into day 2 on 0. So winner today on 73.25, Taizo Sugitani in second, Tolobev of Uzbekistan in third, Wang of China. Ella Wang, who we spoke to in the halftime break, had a very good early score as an individual. Kenneth Cheng and Tyson for Hong Kong. Hong Kong have had a good day. Look at that. 3 on the first page. Leung just outside the top 10, but otherwise. And look, here's Lai of Hong Kong with Confidence 9 in top 15. And 83.79 there is Lai's time, for instance. So that is just a shade over 10 seconds behind Al-Kharafi. So that's 5 faults for Lai. So the lowest ranked Hong Kong rider, for instance, is going to be on a championship total of 5. Lee of Korea and Pamo on 91.74. Turgenboev and Keshavaz, Iran and Uzbekistan. We've got Chinese Taipei there just at the end of the order. 2 more Korean riders there. Unfortunately, not a great day at the office for Thailand on day 1, with Limpachati and Veltzer eliminated, and Sarahi with quick and step for Iran also amongst our eliminators. But they will be given a championship score that they will carry forward to day 2 of competition. That comes up tomorrow. Day 2 is the first day of Nations Cup jumping, as we jump on 2 days to decide the team medals. But today, the action far from over as well. In terms of today, we've got the freestyle finale to the FEI Asian Championships dressage coming up, and that will be at 3 o'clock. Bobby Haler will be back with me in the booth for that final dressage competition of the championships. Tomorrow, 2 jumping classes, because we've got the Nations Cup Day 1 in the jumping, and we also have the jumping finale to the FEI Asian Eventing Championships. So Ali Al-Kharafi, we were doing well picking them because we spoke to Ella Wang at the halfway break as our leader. We previewed with Taizo Sugitani, who's ended up in second place, that it was Ali Al-Kharafi, 4th team rider for Q8, who's ended up as our leader. And as I say, I'm going to use the word again and again, blitz the opposition by more than 3 seconds, by more than 4 seconds, with Ali Al-Kharafi on 73.25, Taizo Sugitani on 77.28. And that'll be 4.03 penalties. So no, it'll be just over 2 penalties for Taizo Sugatani. So it's about half a pole, 2 time faults if it comes to it. But Taizo very much in touch. And, you know, like he said in that VT earlier on, he is here to try and win individual Asian gold come the end of the week. And the team here are going to be working very hard to get the dressage arena set up, get these fences provided by Olaf Pedersen's Caro Jumps out and get the dressage arena set up for a 3 o'clock start. And you won't want to miss it. We've had excellent dressage in those Asian Championships, so we're really looking forward to the freestyle. And it's kind of a voyage into the unknown because they are incredibly close in terms of scores, those dressage riders, and it's just so difficult to know how much the artistic and the music might help them. And I think it would be very difficult at this stage to pick our winner. We're really looking forward to watching the riders come back for those championships later on. But in terms of the jumping championships, it is Ali Al-Kharafi of Kuwait who is our leader, and Ali is down with Bobby.
Now, I'm with the winner of the class, Ali Al-Kharafi. What an amazing job you did. And to cut 4 seconds off second place now, how does that feel?
It feels really amazing. My horse did really amazing even inside the ring. He spoke a bit in a few fences, but I know him now for more than a year, so we know how to get everything back in the ring, and we did it.
And how does it feel to compete at a show like this?
It's really an amazing show, and I'm really happy to be here in Thailand. And my team did today really amazing. We had 3 clear rounds and 1 unlucky with the last fence. We stick to the plan what our trainer gave us. We had the 2 girls in the beginning to get a really nice clear round, and then the next 2 riders, me and Abdullah, we tried to get the risk a bit, and we did it.
Well, congratulations and good luck for the rest of the show. Now back to John.
Thank you very much, Bobby. Well, there is our leader in the championships at the moment, Ali Al-Kharafi. And, of course, we will be starting tomorrow with team scores and these championship scores that are generated as a result of today's competition. It's a 10 a.m. start for team jumping tomorrow. But one more class today, and that is the freestyle dressage starting at 3 o'clock local time. We are 6 hours in front of Central Europe here in Thailand. So please do come and join us for that. It's been a fantastic week of sport so far, and it's only going to continue as we build towards those individual jumping medals on Sunday. But for the moment, from everyone here in Pattaya, thank you so much for joining our broadcast. From me, John Kyle, and all the team, it's goodbye for now.